coming back home, this is the 4th time that President Ruto is facing such security scare. The fact that an armed person can break off the presidential cordon means that an armed person could as well do the same, and which is extremely dangerous. I looked at that video so many times yesterday, and you get a feeling that, you know, even though the president treated it casually and laughed it off, it sent shivers down the spine of many Kenyans, even those who do not like President Ruto. I mean, I got so many messages from friends, you know, expressing concern on the president's security.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much, guys, for your great support. Now, fellow Kenyans, it's Monday, and of course, wiki imeanza on a very, let me just say it has started on a very high note. I've seen something happening along Thika Road. Somebody just sent me a clip, na ananiambia kwamba Boni, fair yenye iko hapa ni ile yenye we can't describe, because kutoka sijui, I don't know from where to, kutoka Makongeni mpaka town it's 300. Yani watu waliamua kwamba wapandishe fare kabisa. Watu wamekataa kupanda magari. Wenye magari pia wamepark gari zao, because they know very well that nobody is going to, hakuna mtu anaenda kupanda. So maybe you can tell me where you are. If you're within Nairobi, you can tell me pale ambapo upo. Was it easier to move from point A to point B? Because watu wa magari ni kama pia waliamua wapandishe bei, na maabiria pia wamesema kwamba si rahisi kupanda. Anyway, I don't know what has happened. I don't know what is happening up to now, but that is not my reason of doing this video. I want to do this video because of KOECH. And I've always asked myself this question. I've always asked this question, that why is it that Citizen TV normally likes normalizing giving these people, like somebody like KOECH, a credit to speaking on the national TV, somebody who really hated Kenyans, somebody who really wanted people to be killed, to be shot dead. Why is it that they're normally being given credit to be talking, you know, to be saying things that ought not to be said, maybe to be saying things that that comes into their mind? Yesterday, William Ruto was attacked. Let me use that. He was attacked in Mombasa, right, in Kilifi, by a young man, and a lot of you have been talking about that attack. Some people saying that it was a planned attack. Some people saying that, you know, that young man was just going to plead with the president. And some are also saying things, different things. But I want us to discuss what KOECH said. Before we talk about that, to the Bonita media community and family, I have an announcement to make, and this is the announcement. To the Bonita media community and family, fellow Kenyans, we have a project here. Actually, it's a very painful story, but I will request all of us, if you're watching and you are willing to help, I would like us to come together to at least help this family. They really need help. They've been struggling. They've been in pain for a very long time.
Sasa yale napitia ni mtoto wangu mkubwa.
Ndiye first born,
Ako na watoto wawili. Lakini hajifanyiangi chochote, ni kuanguka tu. Na saizi, hata sahi vile tunasianga wanaume pia ni wakudanganya watu. Ako na katoto saizi kachanga.
Mtoto mdogo
Kabisa, kama miezi. Na unaona huyo mtoto hakuna kitu anaweza mfanyia. Hata umwache hapa kwa nyumba, hawezi akapea mtoto chakula, jua na shake nini?
Mwili.
Utamuona na wako na malama, unaweza sema ni pombe anakunywanga na si pombe. Ni kuumia huyu mkubwa, sasa mama mtoto. Sasa unaona, nisipokuwa karibu naweza pata mambo ingine. So huyu mtoto naye mdogo hakai chini, na miezi imefika ya kukaa. Akakai chini mtoto kake. Hata pia nako unaona tuka na shake nini kichwa.
Ako weak,
ako weak sana.
Now, I don't want us to talk too much about this, fellow Kenyans. I'm just requesting that let us stand with this family. We find a way of standing with supporting this family. Your 50 bob, your 100 shillings, your 200 shillings will really be enough, because according to me, I think the best thing to do is to find a way on how we can take this child, this lady, back to
to the health center, at least aende akafanyiwe check-up every now and then, because she's supposed to be going for this check-up thrice a month because of that condition that she is in. You see, akiwa kwa hiyo condition, it's very difficult even to take care of the child. Na umesikia mamake anasema ya kwamba mamake haizi akatoka nje, kwa sababu akitoka kidogo hivi akirudi pengine huyu msichana ameanguka, kwa sababu nimekuambia kuna ugonjwa wa kuanguka, pengine ameanguka, na akianguka basi mambo inaweza karibika, hata anaweza kaua mtoto. So first things first, I think what we can do is let us just come together, we support this family, tuhakikisha kwamba huyu msichana ameenda hospitali na amepata matibabu yale ambayo amekuwa akiyapata kila mara 3 kwa mwezi. I did what I could because they didn't even have food. Nimewafanyia shopping kidogo pale kwa kile ambacho nilikuwa nacho. Nikawapa kile cash kidogo, alafu pia nikamnunulia dawa ambazo zinaweza ikamsustain for the time being. So I'm just requesting you guys that we come together, we support this the lady. At least kama tunaweza mkamsupport, hiyo health condition yake ndio imeniuma sana. And then nasikia kwamba mamake pia ana ugonjwa na ako positive, so it becomes stressful. Na pia umejua hiyo pressure pia inaweza panda. So kama tunaweza pata tu watu, mtu aseme kwamba mimi niko na 1000 hapa, acha nikutumie 1000, 2000, 5000, 10000, 500 tu, 100, 200, hata shilingi 50, najua itafanya kazi kubwa sana kuhakikisha kwamba huyu msichana pamoja na mtoto wake wako kwa hali nzuri. You know, the hand that giveth is the hand that receiveth. That is normally my norm. That is what I normally say, that ukipeana kwa roho ulio wazi, nawe pia utabarikiwa. We are not forcing. I know saizi mambo imekuwa ngumu, hali ni ngumu kwa kila mmoja, lakini tukija wote pamoja tuhakikishe kwamba tumesaidia hao watu. Pengine Maulana anaweza kasikia maombi. We never know where the blessing is going to come from. Just use the number on the screen and then I know that all is going to be well.
I'm just requesting you guys, let us come together and help that family. I'm planning to visit them this week. Nione venye tunaweza peleka huyu msichana hospitali for the checkup and all that before we start the real treatment, because treatment yake ndio ya maana. Nataka ni tuangalie jinsi ambavyo tunaweza tukaenda tumpeleke hospitali, you know, to enroll her. I want to go and enroll her kwa medication health center. Alikuwa anaenda Mathare Hospital. I was told that alikuwa anaenda Mathare Hospital, so I want to go. Nataka tuende na yeye tena, we confirm how anaweza kasaidiwa akuwe enrolled again, tujue wakati ambapo alikuwa anatibiwa what was really the problem. Alikuwa anatibiwa kwa sababu gani? Because hiyo kuanguka, it is not only that, there are a lot of things, but you know, you can't just start treatment without following up. So I want to follow up, and then after following up is when now we start. But please just use your nilikwambia your 50 bob, your 100 shillings, your 200 shillings is not taken for granted. Is really going to do much. Is really going to do a lot. So, and this week naomba tunaweza fanya challenge ya 100 shillings. Kama tunaweza fanya challenge ya 100 bob. Kama uko na 100 shillings yani pote tumepata na 100, unaweza tuma tu umepata na 50 bob, just send, so that at least tufike target ya ku make sure kwamba this lady is enrolled. Kama tunaweza pata around 80,000, it will be, I know it will cater for everything. And I know that everything is going to be fine. Let's embark on our discussion. And I want to listen to KOECH speaking before we talk about what he's saying.
Mheshimiwa KOECH, your thoughts about these developments yesterday, and of course a lot of statements have gone, a lot of conversations, and now leading to this action of a man that has been almost a permanent fixture in the time of President Ruto.
Sam, the issue of the president's security is an issue of national security. It's an issue of national concern. It compromises national stability, and that is why the president is a heavily guarded individual in any country. For as much as it's not isolated cases globally, if you look at what has been happening in the US, there's been assassination attempts against the president. It's happened before with JF Kennedy. It's happened to Donald Trump. There's been, I think, 2 or 3 assassination attempts. Coming back home, this is the fourth time that President Ruto is facing such security scare. The fact that an armed person can break off the presidential cordon means that an armed person could as well do the same, and which is extremely dangerous. I looked at that video so many times yesterday, and you get a feeling that, you know, even though the president treated it casually and laughed it off, it sent shivers down the spine of many Kenyans, even those who do not like President Ruto. I mean, I got so many messages from friends, you know, expressing concern on the president's security. I've looked at it not once, not twice, but I want to say that it's nothing to do with Mayo. Mayo is an extremely professional individual, and the changes should be seen as, and you must remember that Mayo has been in presidential service from President Moi's time. It is not only Mayo who was in that crowd. You know, there were so many other police officers, from the police officers that were deployed from the region, and those that went from the specially trained presidential unit that accompanied the president. For it to have happened 4 times, I think there was meant to be a shake-up. And that shake-up should send a signal to the officers who are manning, who are giving security to the president, that they should not treat their job casually. The head of state is the security of President William Ruto. It's not just his security, it's the security of the nation as well. So it must be taken with a lot more of attention than what we've been seeing. So in my view, and I'm not a security expert, but in my view, I think there has been a lot of miscommunication from the team, maybe misalignment, and probably it needed a more agile team. Looking at Mayo and the years that he's worked with the presidential team, and I must thank him for that. I think it needed someone else to take over the leadership of the presidential unit. It needs probably young people, because we are dealing with new threats, emerging threats. These are not the threats that we had 20 years ago, 30 years ago. These are new threats. People are becoming a bit more bolder. And the fact that someone can run a dry run like it did yesterday, you're simply signaling, you know, the Al-Shabaab and many other groups that will want to dare and do it. And there's, you know, it's very evident that it can be done. You can actually get into the president. So the next person will want to experiment, and even with something that can harm the president. We should not allow that. So the changes that happened were necessary, but I think more should be done. There should be a bit more training of the presidential unit officers. I don't know how much they are trained now. There should be more allowances for those officers. There should be more time for them to get rest, because you can imagine the travels that are probably done. The travel that President William Ruto does is not the same with what probably Kibaki did or what Uhuru did. It's a bit more, it travels a lot across the country, and I think it needs a team. I don't know how the sequences of the changes happen, but it needs teams that will have constant changes, to have new people come in and take over. And most importantly, maybe it is also high time as a country that we became a bit more responsive. I think sometimes even our own security have allowed the president to get too close to the public, which I think the president loves, to get close to the people. And even this gentleman that walked through the dais yesterday might not necessarily have meant bad, but probably needed something to be brought into attention. But people should understand that it is not allowed to get close to the president. That is why there are protocols. That is why we have such huge security. So, by the way, Sam, if this thing had happened in the US, like it happened a few weeks ago, I don't know where that gentleman will have been today. You know, even jumping over the fence of the White House. I've seen Kenyans have attempted to jump over the fence of State House. If you did that in White House, you'll be killed. You will be killed. So I'm not saying that, you know, that will happen, but I'm just saying let's be a bit more, as a country, the people out there, let's be a bit more cautious. For the team that has left, I just want to say that they did their job when they were there. Yeah. They did a good job. Of course, there were those gaps that everyone have noticed. It's time that they exited and allow a new team. Let's see how the new team takes forward. And let's stop trying fate with all these suicidal attempts to reach the president. It's extremely dangerous.
I had KOECH talking about William Ruto's attack yesterday in Mombasa. And I've been looking at it in a different way, by the way. I've been looking at it in two ways. The first way is this. KOECH is saying that William Ruto's attack is not just an attack on William Ruto, but it's an attack, a threat on Kenyans. I agree because he's the president. But then, you know, there is a way that William Ruto himself has made this presidency position look like it's a pedestrian. Ameifanya ni kama president na MC hakuna utofauti. You know, if you're used to doing things that MCs are the ones that are supposed to do, things that MPs are the ones, in fact, some MPs cannot even do what William Ruto is doing. So what do you really think is, okay, what do you really think, according to you, what do you really think people are supposed to, do you really think that people are supposed to take him serious? Because according to me, I don't think that people are going to take him serious because of jinsi ambavyo anabehave. So this attack, I wanted to watch this because watu wanasema kwamba this guy attacked William Ruto. Can you watch this?
Tumetengeneza. Yes. Asante sana. Huyo kijana hana shida. Nafikiri amejifunza kutoka Fikirini Jacobs kwamba nafasi ikipatikana asiipoteze. So
now, do you really think that that boy or that man was after attacking William Ruto? Of course, umesikia William Ruto amesema hapo mwisho kwamba the guy just wanted to use the opportunity. Amepata nafasi mzuri and he wanted to use it. Why hakuwa anataka hiyo opportunity impite? So you get it. So this issue yenye watu wanasema kwamba huyu jamaa aliattack William Ruto, it's not something that I don't think if it's something that people should concentrate on it too much like that. I don't think if it needs a lot of concentration, though it's something that we can talk about in this way. Now that one is a Kenyan. What if next time a terrorist attacks the president? Watu watasema kwamba hata atakiwe ni sawa. That is okay. That is fine. Because, you know, some of these hatreds or some of these things that happens, they happen because we are the ones that want them to happen. They happen because Kenyans are the ones, not Kenyans, but leaders are the ones that provoke Kenyans. So ukiona watu wamefika up to this point yenye unasema kwamba huyu hata kiuawa ni sawa. Actually, I saw a crowd of people wakati ambapo alikuwa anatembea and nimeona people were surrounding him and some people at the comment section say that those guys had only one chance. They had only one job, to take him to Sayun. So you see, it's not about, I want us to understand something here. It's not about taking him to Sayun. It's about the kind of hatred. It's about, in fact, it's not even about the hatred of the people. It's about what have you been doing. Okay, kama it's about taking him to Sayun, kwa nini hao marais wengine hawakuwafanyia hivyo? Why is it that all those other presidents were never reached that point where people really hated them to a point that wanasema kwamba hata kama ni kufa wakufe? Why is it that ni yeye? Why is it that ni huyu ndio imefika hiyo point yenye watu wanasema kwamba huyo hata kitu kifanyikia ni sawa? How? It is because of the way you deal with people. You know, if you deal with people nice, people will deal with you nice. I totally believe that ukikaa na watu vizuri, if you really deal with people very nicely, very wisely, there is no single day that anybody can wish you death, anybody can wish that you killed or something like that. But the problem is, you're trying as much as you can to prove your point, to prove yourself that you are the president, that you are the leader, and that nobody should tell you anything. That nobody is supposed to tell you anything. No matter what happens, hakuna mtu yote ambaye anapaswa kukuambia kitu. And that is the greatest mistake that normally happens. That is the greatest mistake that we are witnessing, that we are seeing happening. I would like to know what you think at the comment section, but my point is this. These people like KOECH, I think they normally, wakienda station, they normally think that, you know, people really love them. I believe, I know and I'm sure that watu wakionaga watu kama kina KOECH on Citizen TV, very few people watches these shows. Very few people. Because watu ni kama hawataki hao watu. Amtakwi lakini mnalazimisha ya kwamba mpendwe. Anyway, I would like to know what you think at the comment section, but please don't forget to click the subscribe button.
Sam, I've looked at that thing and I think I get the feeling that the president is being held hostage. Why so? This is a global crisis. You know, we have nothing to do with the Strait of Hormuz. And assuming even it was open today, the issue is not crude, Sam. The issue is refinery. 8 of the refineries in the Gulf have been hit. So even today, if the Strait of Hormuz was opened, it will take another 8 months to get stability in fuel transportation and to have fuel out into the countries. And that is why you find countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan, India. What have they done? They've reduced, first of all, they've rationed their fuel. Number 2, the working days for all that are working have been reduced from 5 days to 4 days so that people can work from home. School holidays have been extended to allow online classes in some places. In Ethiopia, for instance, it's only very necessary services, vehicles that are performing very necessary services, ambulances and stuff, and police vehicles that are being fueled. You've seen queues, and I'm very happy that Citizen TV highlighted it, and I saw Stephen Leto showcasing what is happening in Ethiopia. So it is a crisis that is a global crisis, that we have nothing to do with it. Now, coming home, I think what has been done has been done. We must always remember that we have 1.1 trillion deficit in our budget. Okay? If today we are not careful, this country cannot absorb the financial shocks that are coming from what is happening globally. So we have to be very innovative and do not politicize this issue. And I like the fact that the Matatu stakeholders arrived into the conclusion that there should not be more strikes, because what we had there was not a strike. What we had, and I really want to say sorry for the business people in Murang'a, for the losses that they suffered in the process of the slowdown by the Matatus. What happened in Githurai 44, what happened largely in parts of this country was uncalled for. We didn't need to. We are hurting the economy that is already hurting. So I said, what is it that can be done, Sam? Because if you looked at that then, like, and I like what Wandeto is trying to finding a solution out of the situation. Yep. Other than just deciding that, you know, we have to know that this is our country. What is the best that we can do? We have already, I don't think we can load further on fuel. We have used the stabilization fund. We have the fuel levy fund, which, you know, takes about 25%. The other 25% is for maintenance of road. That 25% of the fuel levy fund has been securitized. So the 25% that remains is what is used now for maintenance of our roads. So we can't stretch further. We can't tax further. So what is it that can be done to avoid a catastrophic situation in this country going forward? We have to look outward. We have to borrow from what other countries are doing. And the best for now, if you ask me, is to prepare the country for the worst. We cannot say that we will continue stabilizing this fuel for long. And I want to thank the G2G arrangement that is actually cushioned us. You can imagine today what would have happened if we were having this, we did not have G2G arrangement, which has cushioned us. Because you remember, Sam, and I had mentioned it here before, that... How is G2G cushioning us at the moment? You'll remember that initially, what the suppliers needed was $500 million for payments of fuel after every 5 days when it was delivered. What we have now is a situation where we are getting up to about 180 days, giving the country some flexibility. There's also a fixed premium on that G2G arrangement, and that is why there's continuous supply of fuel, because it is an arrangement that was made, and Aramco and the other 3 companies have to make sure that they deliver fuel. So we have a situation where we can negotiate as a country, and we are cushioned and that is why you find that we've not even had an inflation with the exchange, with the forex.